Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. We're here again at the Apartment Association for our weekly member spotlight. And today we're here with Deb Meyer from OdorXit. So welcome, Deb.
Thank
We're
you so much for
happy to
having
have
me.
you. Thank you. Before we get started on our interview, I just have some housekeeping things and some announcements to make. First of all, we had a great Next Gen happy hour last night at Court, where I work, and I just wanted to send a thank you out to everyone that came. It was a great time, good food, great networking, some great brainstorming ideas. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for the next event. Those are really beneficial and fun, and I think a lot of good connections were made, and I think everybody learned a little bit too. So thank you for that. Next week is our officers installation dinner. All the details about that can be found on our website and also on all of our social media. So as always, be sure to check that out. And I did want to mention that the designation series is coming up in February for the CAMT classes. I have a whole list here. I'm not going to go over all of them. Again, visit our website, go onto our social media, but some of those are starting in February. So definitely stay tuned if that's something that you want to check off your list or you're just interested in learning more about. Give us a call. Like I said, check out online. Plenty of information there. Regular CAM classes are going to start in April. We mention that every week. Really important to get enrolled. Those do fill up quickly. Industry essentials, legal responsibilities. It's really important, especially if you're newer to the industry, to start looking into those and make sure that you get those taken care of. We're happy to host everyone here at the association, and also the CAS, the Certified Apartment Supplier classes. Those are also coming up in April. You may find me there this year, so hopefully we can all get enrolled and get this year off to a great start. Again, any questions, any enrollment issues, anything like that, just give us a call here at the association, go online, send an email. There's so many easy ways to get a hold of us and get enrolled in those classes. So, without further ado, Deb Meyer, you are the CEO of OdorXit. So, I would like to start. This wasn't on your survey, but can you tell us a little bit about your company and how that got started?
Well, about 20 years ago, I ended up buying a piece of rental property that had a cat locked in it for about 3 months. And the people left. They left a bag of dog food and water in the toilet, and the cat started using the litter box, and then the house became the litter box. So when I closed on it, I had to figure out a way to get rid of that smell. Or
was the cat alive still there?
He was.
Okay.
Well, he apparently loved the dog food.
Okay.
And for those animal lovers, we did find a home for him. So the neighbor took him after we got him out of the chimney. He was,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, he was living up there, and it's kind of interesting. But we found a product that got rid of the odor. We ended up finding the ingredients, and now we buy the ingredients ourselves and mix it in our warehouse. And it's a simple water and essential oils product that you add water to and spray wherever there's urine, vomit, feces, dead animals, all kinds of wonderful things.
Any odor that you would like to not have around anymore?
Almost.
Okay.
Almost. Okay. It doesn't do smoke. But we have another product, and our products are down here.
Okay.
We have another product that will get rid of cigarette smoke smells, mold, mildew, curry, body odor. And this is the one for urine. It's just simple, it kind of looks like water.
Okay.
And we've been in business 20 years and growing the business. And nursing homes use it, property managers, real estate investors. You buy properties because they don't smell good, and people don't know how to get rid of those odors. So my suggestion, my desire, do not paint first.
Oh.
Once you paint over the odors, you can't get rid of them with our products.
Locks them in.
It locks in it. And what ours does is actually break down the odor-causing source, urine, dead body, so it stops smelling.
Oh, wow.
And without being able to get to it, it's going to continue to smell.
Okay.
And it will come through the paint.
Yikes.
And so then you got to sand the paint off.
Oh, my goodness.
So
wow.
It's a much bigger job that way.
Wow. Gosh, I've been in the industry for quite some time, and that is new advice to me. So that's really interesting. And I'm sure there's so many people that think that that will actually help or fix it. And so I'm sure that's probably valuable for all of you out there. So thanks for that great information. I'm really interested. So you just decided to start your own company because you found a solution to a problem that wasn't out there yet? Or you just kind of had that innovative personality? Or was it something you've been thinking about?
Well, it wasn't anything I was thinking about, but it was the other things. We started the business because I was also involved in real estate investing groups, and a lot of my friends were buying houses and they smelled bad. And we decided to create the company because there was a need and people were painting over it, and we still get calls to this day. Well, you know, I got 3 coats of paint on here and it still stinks. Yeah, we just made your job harder.
Yeah.
But you know, if it's cigarette smoke and you paint it over it like that, it takes longer, but this product will still get rid of the smell. It'll go through that paint and it won't damage it. So we've kind of devised ways to solve your issue if you can just kind of be our eyes and tell us what's going on in your building, how big the area is. The trick is you need to identify the smell. And sometimes people can't do that. So we've got to ask some questions to, have you had a flood? Have you had a roof leak?
Right.
Did the previous owners have pets?
And sometimes they may not know.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's such a tricky issue, and it's so constant. So, I mean, what a great value you're probably bringing to the properties, because it's ongoing. There's the ozone machines and all these things that people try to do, because also when you're showing an apartment, in our industry especially, the first thing that I've been in beautiful apartments, and the first thing you notice is the smell. And whether it's good or bad, it's just kind of that first impression. So we are so happy to have you, and like I said, what a valuable tool to kind of bring to our industry and our association.
Well, thank you, and we're really excited to be here because we do offer a solution. And we have a helpline, and you know, if you use the products and you say, well, it didn't work, call us, because we want to know, what did you do? And you know, our products do work. That's what makes them different. They really do what we say they do.
Well, that's great. What a great business to be in when you stand by your products. So,
yeah.
One more question. Is this something that we can go to the store and buy, or do we get in touch with you, or how does that work?
Yes to both. There are a lot of stores around the Cincinnati tri-state area that carry the products. And if you're outside of that area, you're probably going to have to order them online.
Great.
But yeah, they're all online, no matter where you are. Just faster if you can drive down the street and go to the store and pick it up. So you can do that too.
Awesome. So a little bit more about you personally we'll get into now. You'd mentioned this company has been around for, you said 20 years now that started. But I noticed in your answers you've been in the industry a little bit longer. So was that just through the rental properties that you had?
Right. I brought my first property in 1984.
Okay.
So yeah.
So do you still do anything on that side of it?
I still have about 10 rentals.
Oh, wow.
I'm not buying anymore because OdorXit takes up my time. But yeah, and I just had 2 turnovers, and each of them needed the product. So
well, there you go. How convenient is that?
Well, and what's neat about it is I use the product, so I know personally the tips you got to do, the tricks to get rid of the odor.
Sure.
And that's how, you know, and my husband's helped me for years. So we know the issues you're facing and how to get past them.
Sure. It's great. So do you have a most memorable story besides the cat? That seems pretty significant.
Oh gosh, most memorable story. Well, a friend of mine called, and I did short sales.
Okay.
I bought properties in short sale in the foreclosure era. And a friend of mine called, and she needed a short sale, and she had this huge 3,000 square foot house. Well, the front part of the house was like a farmhouse, 3 stories, and that was where the 100 cats lived.
Oh my gosh.
And then they built an addition on the back, which was another probably 1,500 square feet addition. cats weren't supposed to be in there. And you know how cats read signs. So that was true. And we were able to, it took us a while, but we were able to get rid of the cat urine in that house.
Wow.
And sell it for more than market value.
Wow, I think you could have a reality show. I already think that. We just started and I'm already thinking of like how interested people would be to watch something like that. So, how about
as long as it doesn't have smell-o-vision, we're good.
Well, yeah, that's the beauty of it. You can just express it without actually having to smell it. So, how about some advice or perspective? You've been doing this for a while now. What would you tell anyone that's new to the industry or thinking about starting their own company?
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. You know, you're going to learn things along the way. You don't know everything in the beginning, and there's nothing that you'd ever start that you're going to know everything.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned, my previous job was corporate,
Mm-hmm.
and I was there for 25 years. So they taught me a lot. They did different classes and training and negotiations and all that stuff. I use it every day. The solution finding skills I used in short sales.
Mm-hmm.
I use that in odor elimination. You don't know until you start to use it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're inclined to do that,
Mm-hmm. That's great advice, and that's unique to what we kind of usually hear here, because there are so many specific skills that you need to learn in certain areas of this business. But that's motivating and so reassuring, and a great reminder for all of us, because I think, especially when you've been doing this for a while, you start to think that you have it all figured out. And we can really still always learn things, and sometimes we can learn from the newer generations even. So great advice.
sometimes,
Yeah, sometimes. I'm learning that from my own daughters. So
I think, yeah, Matt young a lot.
oh yeah.
We have a new cat. We got him at 6 months old,
Mm-hmm.
probably 3 months ago, and just to watch him learn and understand how the door swings one
Mm-hmm.
way, or it's really, I think you learn a lot just
Mm-hmm.
from seeing the new perspective on stuff. So yes.
Yeah, I totally get that. Very cool. Okay, let's ease it up a little bit, and why don't you tell us about the last book that you read?
Oh goodness, the last book I read was, I don't typically take time to read pleasure books.
Mm-hmm.
But I was in the airport and I wanted to, and this is just in December,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted something different, and I read The Tattooist at Auschwitz.
Okay.
And I can't really say this without tearing up.
Mm-hmm.
It intrigued me because my dad was in World War II.
Mm-hmm.
He was a photographer, and he
wow.
was there after the war was over,
Mhm.
and was taking lots of pictures. And
Wow.
the stories these pictures tell. So I just kind of get intrigued with that and see
Yeah.
what he went through. And he never talked about it, and he's gone now. And I wished I'd have,
Wow.
I don't know if he'd have answered the questions, but
Right.
I wished I'd have asked him more.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the guy did what he had to do to stay alive, and,
Mm-hmm.
and met a woman in line as he was concerned he was hurting her, as he tattooed her arm, and they just kind of snuck away when they could to stay out of trouble, and it was just kind of their life. And
Wow.
actually after the war they got married and
Wow.
they had kids, and it was a really heartwarming story for the
Wow. Great. What I'm adding that to the list. That sounds really interesting. So you did have a chance to read. What about some other favorite pastimes or hobbies? What do you do in your free time?
Oh, I go to meetings where people talk about real estate.
Isn't it funny how our jobs become our passions and our hobbies, though? It becomes things that we're really interested in, and I totally get that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So driving down the street, yeah, I put an offer on that house. Yeah, I mean, so yes, that's kind of
Very cool.
I miss buying houses,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't have time to do it right.
Yeah.
So
Well, how self-aware of you, because sometimes we can spread ourselves thin and then get in way over our heads. So I can respect that. What about a favorite food or any local restaurants?
Oh, my favorite restaurants are anything that serves gluten-free.
Ah, okay.
So I am celiac. It
Mhm.
really bothers me, so
Mhm.
I can't cheat. Bonefish is great. Cooper Hawk is great.
Mhm.
Red wine is gluten-free, and that's
Yay!
really great.
Yes. I saw I had a really close friend who's also gluten-free, so I was always on the lookout for her. And I remember getting really excited when I saw some gluten-free beer at Whole Foods. I thought, I can have the beer too. So
Yes.
that's nice too.
Yes, it is.
All right.
Yes, it is.
Let's see. And then I quickly glimpsed over the question about pets, but I want to hear you talk about it more because I think we have something in common about our pets.
Yeah, I have a dog.
Mhm.
My husband lovingly calls him the Velcro dog because he's right here
Mhm.
or here.
Mhm.
And he sleeps with me. He watches TV with me. He has a little bed under my office desk.
Oh, I love that.
So but he is blind.
Mhm.
And we have trained him bump. So he knows to go around things.
Oh, wow.
And he's really very smart. I also have bubble wrap taped on the corners he misses or he hits.
I love it.
He misses with bump and runs into. So, our house is kind of funky looking with bubble wrap hanging on the corners.
What we do for our pets, though.
Absolutely.
What kind of dog is he?
He's a puggle.
Oh my gosh.
It's a pug and a beagle mix.
Oh, goodness.
And he's, I got him as a rescue. And I saw him the first day and it was like, oh, I don't know. If somebody else wants him, you should probably, just wasn't ready to turn my heart loose. But he picked me. How they do. He kind of stood on my leg and I was sitting on the ground trying to play with him. And the dog before that was like at the end of the leash trying to run away. It's like,
they know.
Yes.
They know. Sure.
So, the next day I went back and he was still there. It's like, and I had checked, I didn't know what a puggle was, but they said that the puggle didn't have the flattest nose like a pug does, or the curly spine like the pug does. So his back was better and his breathing was better, being a puggle. Did have the howling of the beagle, and I can vouch for that. But so he's almost 14. He's in great health.
Has he always been blind?
No.
Okay.
He got the disease probably 5 years ago. But we go on walks, and here comes a mailbox, and I'll kind of tug on his leash, and he'll pull around, and then take my eyes off of him for a second. Bam! It's like, oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm telling you, this reality show is just forming right before our very eyes right now. There's so many fun aspects to it. I have a senior dog. He's almost 14 too, and Velcro is definitely a great word. He's just, he doesn't really care about much anymore except what I'm doing. And
what kind of dog?
Long story, he looks like a lab mix. I did a DNA test. He's not at all a lab mix, but it's not even worth going into because that's definitely what he looks like. He's just an old black mutt of a dog now. So
how much does he weigh?
Yeah. Huh?
How much does he weigh?
Oh gosh, he should probably weigh about 70 pounds, but he's probably closer to 80 now.
Okay.
I've kind of
so he's living the good life.
He is in his best retirement years right now. That's when I was saying I could relate to that. I mean, he's really dictating my life now. So
yeah, they do.
The last thing I did before I got here was have a little talk with my dog. So I'll be home later, and he can't hear me. He just looks at me and says,
but
"I'm going
I
to sleep
think
now."
they hear your tone.
Yes.
If you said, "I'll be home later."
Yeah.
And I noticed this because I would leave for the day, or I'd go to a trade show out of town with OdorXit, and I would tell him, "Oh, Hooch, I'm gonna leave, and Mommy won't be home." And he would just be down the whole time. And if I go, "Hooch, Mom's leaving, and I'll be back in a couple of days," it is amazing what the tone of voice does. I mean, to us, but to the dog too. And he may not hear, but I think he hears the vibrations.
Yeah, he can pick up on it. When I just try to do the same thing every day to like remind him, like if I'm saying this, then you can be assured that I'm coming home later. You can rest easy because I say this every time, and then I come back home.
That's true too.
Yeah, I love to think about what just the care we put into our animals, especially as they get older. I think it says a lot about us as people, and how much we care for them. So, what about? Do you have any time to watch TV? Do you get to see any movies?
We went to a movie not too long ago. What did we go to? I don't even remember. I can't remember.
It must not have been that great. So
it wasn't bad. The chairs were really good, and they get your reclining
so fancy now. Yes,
pop your feet up. It's better than your own recliner.
Sure.
But we watch movies on the television. So.
That's a great way to unwind. So
yes.
And then, are you a fan of local sports? Do you have a favorite team? Are you into that?
I watch the Bengals on television. I'm not religious every week, but my brother is, and we spend a lot of time together. So we're watching. We go out every Monday for dinner as well. So we watch Monday Night Football.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, that's really good.
Fun.
Yes.
And the best concert that you've ever attended?
Oh, that was in my heyday. Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, that would be a good one.
Yes, I remember I couldn't get tickets, and I went down there and bought them at the door from some scalper.
Yeah. Was it here in Cincinnati?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh, he reminds me of my childhood. I think that might have been one of my first crushes was Bruce Springsteen, Born in the USA.
Yes.
Oh, goodness. Great memories.
Yeah.
Okay, if you were an animal, what would you be and why?
Well, if I was an animal, I guess I would want to be a dog.
That was my answer too.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
They get a good home.
Mm-hmm.
You see all these things where they rescue them from horrible situations.
Mm-hmm.
But you get a good home, just like we just talked. Man, you eat and sleep and eat and sleep, and here comes your pet parent.
Yes.
And, oh boy, life is good.
Mm-hmm.
So
sometimes I think, I have 2 daughters, and he gets away with more than they do. Like, I cater more to, like, if they get up in the middle of the night and they tell me they're hungry, I'm like, you have to go back to sleep and wait till breakfast. If he starts whining in the middle of the night, I'm like, oh, let's go grab a treat. You need to eat. So I don't know what that says about me. I don't know if I should have shared that. Okay. What was the best vacation that you've ever taken? I think I glimpsed over this answer, and it was pretty intriguing.
Oh, yes. Well, when I was a kid, I always wanted to go to Egypt. I studied the pyramids and the pictures and everything. And it goes back to real estate. When I sold my first 4-family, I made like $25,000. And I told my mom, I said, what should I do with this money? She goes, well, you always wanted to go to Egypt. Go take it and go to Egypt. So I did. And we were there. I went with my husband. And he goes, well, if you're going to your dream vacation, we're going to mine. And that was Santorini, Greek island of Santorini. So we took off. I was working corporate at that point, and I asked if I could have a 28-day vacation. And they went, oh, fine.
Well, great.
Yes. So we flew into Cairo, and I worked at Procter & Gamble.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some people there that I knew that had been transferred to Cairo. They were bringing up product lines, and she let me stay in her apartment, which
amazing.
You look out the front porch, and you look down, and there was sand. And about 10 feet further, there was the Nile.
Oh my goodness.
So we'd always tell the cab driver when we bring it back, take us to the Marriott up on the hill. No, stop here. So it was like the couple buildings before the Marriott and the expensive. It was wonderful.
That's incredible.
We got a private airplane down to south of the Nile to Abu Simbel, where the great big huge Ramses statues were.
Oh my gosh.
We went to the Cairo Museum. We did a cruise up the Nile. Yeah, and we stopped at a bunch of different cities, and I even asked them, so which on your table here is gluten free?
Oh my gosh.
And they would walk me around the buffet table. Yeah. This one, don't eat this.
Yeah.
No. And then after we were in Egypt for a while, for 10 days, then we went to Santorini. So Egypt was kind of the historic learn portion of the trip, and then Santorini was vacation. And we went to Akrotiri, which was a excavation place. Archaeologists, they were digging this city out by spoonfuls of sand.
Oh my goodness.
And they found frescoes on the walls, the paintings that were hand painted with the different colors that had been protected over the years. Wow. Actually, Santorini was hit by the Pompeii volcano years ago, so that's why it was covered up and they were digging it out. But so my 28-day vacation was just, and it's really fulfilled my dream to travel. I want to go other places, but it's not. I've been to Egypt. I'm happy.
Yeah, moving forward with these interviews, I challenge anyone to top that as their best vacation. If so, I cannot wait to hear about it, because that sounds just incredible. I mean, you just made me want to go there, and I don't know that it was on my list before, but aside from the fact that you have this story of your first success and you reward yourself and you fulfill a dream, and that's just so cool. So what a great message for a Friday morning. So I love that.
Thank you.
And what do you want to share with us about your family?
Oh, family's so important. Family, my husband has supported me in growing the OdorXit business and the rental properties and fixing stuff. He's always been there in my corporate job. One of the things he always said was, don't complain about it if you're not willing to fix it. So that stopped a lot of complaining about the same person every day. And it made sense. And we've been together 30 years this year.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Good.
And my mom helped me. My mom and dad both helped me work on my first rental properties. She would meet me after I'd get off work, and we'd paint and get the apartment ready, and my dad came over and he built some steps for me, and they were not happy when I told them I bought my first rental, because I didn't tell them until it was done.
I just heard the saying last night, actually, ask for forgiveness, not permission, and that I feel like it's all of a sudden applying to all these things I've been hearing.
There you go.
Yeah. I don't know if it's good words to live by. I just know that some people do apply those words sometimes.
Well, and I learned that at P&G from my boss. So
there you go.
Yes.
Very good.
So family's just so important, and if a piece of your family doesn't work at the moment, give it time, and between you and God, it'll heal itself, because my brother and I have healed over the years, and we are just best friends now. So
that's great.
And it's just really important in your life.
Great. Well, that about wraps it up. Thank you so much. No offense to anyone else, this may have been one of my favorite interviews. So many great words of wisdom, awesome stories. We're so happy to have you here. Definitely, as I always say, if you're at any events and you see Deb, be sure and say hi, especially if you have any questions about her product. I'm sure you would love to share that information.
Absolutely.
Or if you have any travel stories, I think that you're just a great person to sit and chat with. So thank you for coming and spending your morning with us.
Well, thank you so much, Rachel. I've really enjoyed it. It's been fun.
Thank you. Yeah.
And I've enjoyed my time with the Apartment Association.
Good.
I've met a lot of really great people so far.
We are thrilled to have you here.
Thank you.
Thanks. You all have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.